I love genealogy, so I have explored my family pretty thoroughly. My ties are my great grandparents, who were they were both immigrants. They came over in the late 1890s, early 1900s. They came over both from Sheila, which is a small town in the mainland of Italy across from Sicily.
Sheila is in the Calabria region of Italy, close to the Strait of Messina. Currently, it has a population of close to 5,160 with an area of 43 square kilometers. Situated on the coast of Calabria, the main attraction in Sheila is its beachfront location. Sheila is in between the Tyrrhenian Sea and the mountain Aspromonte. The Fuochi di Mezzanotte is a midnight fireworks celebration held every year at Sheila's beach on August 16th during the Festival of San Rocco.
But I do have a picture of my great-grandfather.
That would be cool.
And so he was Emmanuel Mazziotti.
Nice.
And this is when he was serving in the French Foreign Legion.
Wow. Very cool.
When he went in when he was 18 years old. So he actually married a woman named Mary Mortalidi, and Mary passed away very early on, we think in childbirth, and the child did not survive. And so he then married her sister, Concetta. And so this is my great-grandfather and his wife, Concetta. But they were both supposedly from Sheila, and her family definitely. And as my dad says, there's probably still Mortalidis there that we actually don't know about.
The Festival of San Rocco, held on August 16th in Sicilia, is meant to honor San Rocco, who is worshipped in the Roman Catholic Church as a protector against contagious diseases, including the plague. During his lifetime, he was thought to cure diseases by praying for those who were suffering. Upon his death, a voice from the heavens was heard, announcing that his soul had merited immortal glory in heaven. The history of the worship of San Rocco and the party is assumed to date back to the end of the 16th century. This would mean that Dean Breyfogle's great-grandparents probably participated in these events as well.
And so they had seven children. This was taken in 1922. So wait, actually, it's 2, 4, yes, 6 boys and 1 girl. My grandfather was the oldest of the 6. And actually, when they came over, my great-grandfather, Emmanuel Mazziotti, actually became a stonemason on Rockefeller's estate.
Oh, wow.
And so I have actually since found him in the censuses. Both he and his wife were living there when they were first married. And then when they started having children, and I think probably collected some money, they opened a corner store in Elmsford, New York.
Dean Breyfogle said that her great-grandparents immigrated to the United States in the late 1890s or early 1900s. Italians who immigrated to the U.S. from 1890 onward became a part of what is known as the New Immigration. This new immigration, consisting of mostly Slavs, Jews, and Italians, was a major change from the old immigration, which consisted of Germans, Irish, British, and Scandinavians. These Italian immigrants came mainly from southern Italy, like Dean Breyfogle's great-grandparents. They were mostly laborers from farms or textile factories. Poverty was the main reason for immigrating because American workers received significantly higher wages for their work. The U.S. was seen as a nation with high wages, an abundance of land for farming, low taxes, and at the time, no military draft. However, Italians also immigrated to try and escape political policies after the Italian government started to take measures towards repressing political views such as anarchy and socialism.
So my dad was born, and my dad was born with the name Donald Anthony Mazziotti. And then what happened was my grandfather moved up high enough in General Motors that he then moved the family to Detroit. But before they could do that, because that's where the General Motors headquarters was, and because he became a regional sales and he had an entire region, before he was able to do that, and I'm not sure if he felt the need or if somebody told him, but you need to change your name because this is post-World War II. This was in 1950, and said, if you think you're going to get anywhere in General Motors, you need to change your name. So my dad was 10 years old. He came home from school one day, and my grandfather said, your name is no longer Donald Anthony Mazziotti, it's now Donald Anthony Massey.
Since Sicilia is located close to the coast, almost every restaurant serves seafood. Local cuisine is heavily based on seafood. Swordfish is most commonly used in local dishes. All fishes, especially swordfish, are cooked in various ways, from oven roasted in a sauce with mascheroni or fried with olive oil.
My dad was actually born and raised in Ridgewood, but at 10 years old, the family was moved to Detroit, Michigan, and so my dad grew up the rest of his years in Michigan, and his little brother, that's my Uncle Bob. My Uncle Bob, he married his first wife. They were married for 29 years, and they then divorced, and he met a new woman and wanted to get married. She was full-blooded Italian. And she said, I am not going to be a Mrs. Massey. You have to change your name back to Mazziotti. So my uncle changed his name back to Mazziotti. He has now since passed away, but so at his funeral, there was the priest talking about Bob Mazziotti and his brother, Don Massey. Yeah, so I think here at Bucknell, our idea is not just language acquisition and learning to speak a second language, which I think is wonderful, but it's about learning about the culture and different people. And I did actually take Italian 101 with Professor Perrone, which is probably why she knew a little bit about my history. And it was wonderful because the way that it's taught here, it's not just about the language, right? You're learning about the culture by learning the language.